Hello and welcome to the Tangents Podcast, the show where me and Cam, we both just follow the conversational thread and see wherever it may go.
8 out of 10. You got all the major points.
Yes, it's almost like I actually wrote that intro, dude. I'm Alex, Zenbear Digital, and with me as usual is my good friend Cam, Lumo Blaze. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I've had a wonderful morning, and I am ready to kill God.
Oh, loving that confidence.
I accidentally chugged a 300 mg caffeine drink and then had some Skittles and some oatmeal, and I can see through time. This podcast is going to be great. I know this for a fact.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's ride this energy. Let's ride this energy. Okay, so we're gonna start off today. You kind of put something down here that I don't know really what you're talking about here. With I have a rough idea. I'm just gonna read out the note that he put down here. Movement shooters, very sexy. Put inside me. What?
Okay, so here's the thing. There's some backstory here. This thankfully won't impact my plans long term because by the time this episode comes out, I've already won. I play Unfortunate Spaceman with my friends, and some of you in the audience might be thinking, that's not a movement shooter. Comment that all you like. I am in the past. You cannot infect me right now. But so the thing is Unfortunate Spaceman is a New Blood game, as is the game Ultra Kill.
Mm-hmm.
And when you buy Ultra Kill, you get to play as the robot from Ultra Kill as the monster in Unfortunate Spaceman. And only one friend has said monster, but now I have it.
Okay.
So the intent is to use the Ultra Kill monster to frame them, and no one will know it's me until it's too late. Was that worth the $20? Yes, because as it turns out, Ultra Kill is an amazing game and everyone should play it.
I don't know what Ultra Kill is. I'm looking that up right now. Give us a synopsis.
So here's, you know what, the vanity URL that New Blood purchased for this game that they always do is Devil May Quake.
Okay.
That should sum it up enough. It is a high-octane, combo-oriented, score-driven movement shooter. So you are fast, you are wall running, you are death.
Oh, so it's like, what's that game? Bulletstorm. A mix of like Bulletstorm meets Doom meets something else? I don't know.
Bulletstorm meets like Boomer Shooter. And like, here's the thing. I would argue that this is dramatically better than anything Bulletstorm ever did.
I mean, Bulletstorm was very... It was very limited in its movement, I will say.
But like, so to give an example, you know me, it's very hard for me to get into a fugue state because I'm so easily distracted.
Mm-hmm.
This game gets the chemicals going so fast in your goddamn brain that I actually lost an hour of my life to ultimate concentration and perfected like 4 levels.
Well, damn.
Like, here's the thing. I think I've established now why movement shooters are good. Because a lot of games are movement shooters, but movement shooters aren't very popular because movement shooters have an exceedingly high skill floor.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Titanfall 2?
I did. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah. Did you ever play the multiplayer?
Yeah, I was not good at it.
And that's the thing. Like, there are different ranges of movement shooters. There are games that have normal movement and some unorthodox methods like TF2 and rocket jumping.
Yeah.
You can do some insane stuff with rocket jumping. You will see maybe one soldier a year doing that. But in Titanfall, everyone has the same kit. Everyone is the same, like, grappling hook, running on walls kind of deal. So you'll have the normal dude playing, Titanfall like Call of Duty, and then you'll have John Crackhead, who has just finished his 8th bang of the day, got off the night shift, and is basically flying.
I have seen some crazy stuff in Titanfall 2. Absolutely crazy stuff. And I'll admit, I played Titanfall 1 a lot, and I know a lot of people that have played that will absolutely hate me for saying this, but I absolutely love the smart pistol. Like, I know it was essentially auto-aim the gun, but it was so satisfying to just chase down someone with it auto-locking on. Because it wasn't like a case of, oh, you see someone, boom, done. You had to, like, keep them in the crosshairs for a while. Sorry, I just hit my mic there. And it was just, you had to keep it in the crosshairs. So there was a skill to it where you had to chase them down and keep them. It was like this chase mechanic, then you could kill them. And I loved that. It was so fun.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, movement shooters have to make concessions for people who have... they just haven't hit that skill floor yet to be competitive at all tiers. Because, like, the difference between, like, John Call of Duty and Captain Crackhead of the Eighth Bang, it's pretty wide, but give John Call of Duty the smart pistol, and if he can turn a fight, he can win it. So it evens the playing field, which is why a lot of those design decisions are lamented by the higher skill players, because it invalidates their skill a little bit, but that's kind of necessary to make people adopt the game. Like,
yeah. I mean, to have a larger, user base, you have to cater for all skill levels. And obviously, there's going to be people that be like, "Oh, that gun's cheap. You shouldn't use that. You're bad." It's like, I'm having fun. What does it matter?
Okay, complete tangent because podcast. So last night I was playing Mechwarrior online, which that game has too many moving parts for my small ape brain, so I have my friends make builds for me. I had some dude, like, just because we're talking about skill levels, I had some dude getting vehemently mad that someone on my team was using the command feature properly.
Oh, how dare you play the game properly.
So this dude didn't want to be the command leader, but he was yelling at her for being the command leader. And unironically, when we were winning games and actively corralling the enemy thanks to her leadership, he was still bitching about it. And that we kind of just joked about it, and we were just like, "Oh, we're just playing the game for fun, home." And he's like, "Did you do any of the required reading?" And we were like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "The military manuals? You guys don't know any of the formations." And we're sitting there just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is Mechwarrior."
Oh, one of the people that takes it way too seriously. Okay.
Yeah. And we lost a game, and the dude kept doing it. And this dude showed up on our team like 4 times because the pop is so low in that game. But the thing is he kept doing that game after game, and eventually he's like, "I read the Cliff Notes for Sun Tzu's Art of War in 5th grade. Does that count?"
Oh.
Dude, just stop talking. Dude, just stop talking.
Oh, jeez. Oh, speaking of Mechwarrior, there is a game currently, which is essentially Mechwarrior VR, where you're in the cockpit and you're like, no, it's not. No, it's like you actually control the mechs like in VR. It's really cool. I still need to try it. I'm in the devs Discord, and I need to try it out. They're still like testing all that. It's called Iron Rebellion. If you like Mechwarrior, I would highly recommend trying it out.
I'll actually look that up. I've been trying to use my VR headset more. Like, I've been going through. Okay, no, hold on. We gotta fight. We gotta have a fight right now.
Oh no, about what?
Is Boneworks a movement shooter?
I would say yes and no. I would say yes and no, because it depends on your skill level. Boneworks by itself is essentially just a first-person shooter. That's all it is. But once you start to implement some of the mechanics and some of the tools, like the dev tools and like the boosters and all that kind of stuff, yes, it can turn into that. It depends on how you want to play it.
Like, the way that I've always identified movement shooters is it's a game where the skill goes up the more you adopt unorthodox movement. So, like, with Ultra Kill, for example, I was stuck on this segment in, I want to say Wrath. No, not Wrath. Wrath's not released yet. Whatever the second world is. There was a long spiral staircase. At the bottom was a stationary turret enemy. Along the stairs itself were a bunch of, like, flamethrower boys and automatic drones. And I was just getting plastered because I wasn't prioritizing my targets right. So now I could fight my way up this, or I can overload my shotgun, causing it to explode on the stationary turret at the bottom of the stairs and boost over the entire thing with that. And then everything had to run up the stairs to get to me, which, you know what? That's an easy line. And I have a railgun. But it's like, that's the thing, is like, games that reward your ability to manipulate their movement systems, I think are probably the most satisfying games to play.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, with that sense, Cluster Truck is a movement shooter.
No, that's just movement, because there's no shoot.
That's a movement. No, there is if you're using the grappling hook.
No, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, again, it comes down to like the whole idea of Boneworks. It depends on how you want to play it. If you like movement shooters, have you tried Boomerang X yet?
I haven't tried Boomerang X, but I've been seeing a lot of that on like my Twitter timeline. That's a Devolver title, yeah? Yeah,
it's Devolver Digital. It was developed by Dang. I've never heard of that studio before, but it's satisfying to play. Like, you know that? Oh god, you know that kind of scene from what was it, Naruto, where he throws the large shuriken, then he just like appears where that shuriken was because he was the shuriken. Ooh, plot twist, it was cool and all that. You can do that. It's so fucking good. You just fly around with this boomerang, this freaking glaive, just flying around with it. It's so cool.
I'm gonna be completely real with you. I have not watched a single episode of Naruto in my entire life.
Are you even anime then?
No, I function in society.
Well,
bottom text.
Considering you just said that, I don't believe anything you just said.
Yeah, no, I've never watched Naruto. I've never watched One Piece. I've never watched Gurren Lagann, actually.
Gurren Lagann, yeah, that's a fun one. That's just fun, stupid to watch.
Yeah, I'm doing that on my vacation, honestly. Because, like, I need to watch it at some point. I've been told it's very much something that I would get a kick out of.
There is, I think it's like episode 2 or 3. There is just an iconic shot, and I love it so much. Like you have like this idea of like Northman energy of just like just like going fucking hyper and all this kind of stuff. Full on motivation. Gurren Lagann is gonna fucking tickle your brain for that so much.
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, no, I've been told it's very much a like fight for what you want, live your life your own way. Fuck the world, it's all for you kind of deal.
No, it's not fuck the world, it's all for you. Absolutely not.
I've misunderstood.
Yeah, it's very much about fighting for what is right kind of thing and forging your own path.
So basically stuff that for a fact that I am just like addicted to hopelessly.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna absolutely fucking love it, and it just goes into just like hype extremes at points. Like, I cannot wait for you to finish it, and then I just want to hear you be like, I just want to hear what you thought of it.
Yeah, honestly, I cannot wait for what my Twitter is going to look like when I watch it. Because I like to, like, if it's an old series, I love to live tweet what I do, simply because people react in very funny ways. I'm very easy to please. Oh, my God, though. But anyway, back to movement shooters. Straight up, like, it's kind of like a dying genre, if you think about it. Because, like, a lot of the movement shooters that we've had recently, up until New Blood, I feel like have been flopping pretty hardcore. Like, Quake Champions, for example.
Oh, that came out?
Exactly my point. It came out, and it was not very good. They made it Overwatch instead of Quake, but with bunny hopping on very specific characters, if I understand correctly. So the movement was basically locked behind character abilities. So you basically had to pick a movement character as opposed to just playing a movement shooter. And then it gets even worse if you think back on it, because do you remember the like, in my opinion, the greatest movement shooter? Tribes Ascend.
I have never played that, so I do not know.
Oh my, okay, well, I get to explain this one to you. So how do I explain Tribes Ascend?
If I remember correctly, isn't it like sci-fi with jetpacks?
Yeah, so here's the thing. The way that Tribes worked is you could basically get obscene velocity by going down hills and then ramping off other hills. So you would basically use downward slopes to build insane speed to basically just to become fast. Mm-hmm. And you would use that to perform a bunch of hit and runs. So the entire thing was just like speed run capture the flag mixed with quite literally like Sonic Utopia momentum.
Okay.
And of course it was a high res property, so it was dead now. It's dead now. But like the thing is Tribes was really good, and skiing, which is what it was called, was amazing. Like I struggle to put into words how much fun I genuinely had and how satisfying it was becoming one with the sky. But it flopped because of the skill floor. Like, movement shooters inherently have a higher skill floor than other games because you have to learn the movement system alongside the gunplay. But doing so is satisfying. Like, because like Doom Eternal, I think, is a good example of a movement shooter as well.
Yeah, I mean the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, they're pretty solid examples of movement shooters. Warframe is another one, in fact.
I would disagree.
Well, I mean,
Warframe's more hack and slash, and the gunplay isn't a focus. Like,
no.
Like, here's the thing. Like, let me explain why I think this way really quick. Like, when it comes to movement shooters, your reward is that good movement presents you at opportunities to use your guns. The way that guns work in Warframe makes them feel more like a way to apply damage than shooting a gun, if that makes sense. Like, they're more...
I would disagree with that.
And also guns peter out at higher levels.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, what was it? I was using... What was it? It was like that force shotgun that just did obscene amounts of damage, but at higher levels it just did nothing.
Was that the radiation one?
Yeah.
Oh, now I gotta remember what that's called, because that used to be my baby.
Yeah, because like I used that for a long time, and it was like that was like one of the best guns that you could use for like a long time. Then guns at higher levels just didn't really do anything. It was just weird. But no, it's like Warframe as it is, like running around, because like you're having to keep movement so you don't get killed, along with your abilities depending on the frame that you're using. Yeah, I would say it is a movement shooter because you're having to move around to evade things so you're not dying, but at the same time getting yourself into proper positions to take down enemies.
You know what? That's fair. I'll take it.
Another one would be Ghost Runner.
Yeah, Ghost Runner absolutely fits the movement shooter definition.
Yeah.
Have you played that yet? I haven't gotten a chance.
I played the demo. Like as soon as like the demo came out, I found it and I played it, and it was like, yeah, that's fun. I'm not sure I'd want a full game of it though. It seemed like a fun demo more than anything.
Like that's the thing. Movement shooters it's very easy for you to tire yourself out on them because they are just so demanding. Like I cannot play Ultra Kill before bed. I will not sleep. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Like the whole reason why I put this topic on here was because your boy's addicted. I got the brain rot. There's a sandbox mode so you can practice your movement and so you can practice takedowns on enemies. And there's a lot of really cool stuff like throwing a coin into the air and then shooting it and it goes into the nearest enemy.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The sandbox mode where you can test all of this out, it's GM Construct from Gary's mod.
Oh no.
It is a 1-to-1 recreation in Ultra Kill style, and they got permission from Gary to do it. Sir Gareth Modifications gave it to them himself.
Oh my god.
Movement shooters are commonly called boomer shooters because a lot of movement shooters tend to be inspired by Doom. Doom being the original movement shooter, since the entire thing was go fast, shoot fast.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is New Blood, which is a publisher who I'm actually kind of familiar with. Like I got a couple of their cards in my wallet. I don't talk to any of them. But the thing is, though, is they've been reviving boomer shooters because that's all they fucking published. But like, because they did a Medieval and they also did Dusk, which are spiritual successors to Old Doom and Hexen. But they also just do nothing but tweet out about boomer shooters. Like there's another one that starts with a P whose name I'm forgetting, which is a shame because it's amazing. Like it's genuinely fantastic. It's like sci-fi, kind of like Mars themed, I think. But like it's coated in bloom and it's kind of an amazing disaster. But it goes. It goes.
Actually, on that note then, have you tried Larcenauts?
No.
Do you know what Larcenauts is?
I do not.
It's essentially VR Overwatch. So each character has like different kind of its own kind of abilities and movement style, but it's like the best way to describe it is VR Overwatch without all the Blizzard stuff. But it seems very interesting. I've got it. I need to try it, but I feel like that would be very much a case of this whole topic, I'm just trying to think through things that are movement shooters now. Not the concept. I'm just trying to think, is that a movement shooter?
Yeah, because like
it's just making me think what is what. Jet Island is one. God damn it.
Jet Island 100% is one.
Oh.
Would we consider Terraria one because you can fly and have guns?
I mean, I guess. I guess.
You want to know, like, a movement shooter that I think is going to stretch the definition?
What would that be?
Bullets per minute. Because you've got the dash, you've got the double jump, you've got the arsenal, you've got the weird movement that you can get. But it's a roguelike. It's not PvP, but it is still a movement shooter. And it's got a very high skill floor, so I think it counts. This topic has stopped being, I think movement shooters are cool. It's now just become an existential crisis of which games have we been playing that are movement shooters.
I'm trying to find a game that's just like, that's not, like trying to find one that would subvert the idea of a movement shooter, but still contains it. And my eye is just going to Dead Space. It's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely not. That's an anti-movement shooter. You are a tank.
Yeah. Oh, God. There was one that I was just seeing just now.
I think movement shooters have to have like a specific like fast pace to them.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I think that's like a big part of the definition.
You know what? Actually, a game that I finally got around to playing. Like the last couple of last week, I've been sitting down and playing games that I've been meaning to just play. Like I've basically been resting, because I kind of like just burnt out last week and I was just dead to the world. So like I'm just trying to take it a little bit easier before I jump back into things. So I've got a lot of stuff working behind the scenes at the moment, like building up assets. I've got like a bunch of commissions going, all this kind of stuff. I'm just waiting. I'm basically just taking this time to just take it easy and prepare for things. So like next week I can just like jump back into things. So I've been playing a bunch of games and I finally got to I finally got to play and complete Control Ultimate Edition. And that is actually a movement shooter now that I think about it.
I would count that one. That one is all about the movement.
Like, to begin with, it's not. But then once you get a couple of abilities, 100% it is a movement shooter because you're like dodging and flying around.
Oh my god, dude. I genuinely need to play Control at some point. I made the world's most horrific discovery this morning.
What's that?
I have a backlog.
Everyone's got a fucking backlog, dude.
Yeah, but I never want to have one because then I feel like I'm obligated to play games. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's take a look at this. I'm gonna fucking call myself out here just to kind of like put into perspective that your backlog's not gonna be as big a deal as you think it is. Okay?
Yes.
How many games do you have on your Steam library?
Oh, we're really talking about this one, huh?
We're going down this one. This
557.
Is 1,200.
Alex, what the fuck?
How many have I played? Ask me, Cam. How many have I played?
At least 2.
200.
Actually, that's a shocking fraction. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah. How many have I completed? Not nearly 200. It's not a good thing.
Well, you see, like, here's the thing. I finished the story mode of Guilty Gear. Like, I beat that.
Mm-hmm.
Which was just watching 5 hours of cutscenes. That's not a joke. It's the kind of game Kojima would like because it was just a movie. But so like right now, I'm working through Ultra Kill, and then I'm going back to Black Mesa, and then I'm finishing Boneworks, and I've got a playthrough of Divinity going with a friend. Like, I mean, granted, I'm actually burning through my backlog because I did finish Psychonauts 2, which is, by the way, amazing. Get it? You can grind rails and shoot from your brain. It's a movement shooter.
Oh my god, I still need to play the first one before I even think about looking at the second one.
Yeah, Psychonauts 1 is like genuinely amazing. I will always recommend that game, even though it looks like ass.
Oh, have I recommended this one to you yet? Like the humor and like someone like just the humor I would say is kind of similar to Psychonauts. Have you played Stick It to the Man?
No.
It's all about a dude that gets an alien stuck in his head and then can read minds. And it's all about like reading minds and solving puzzles within the world by stealing people's emotions from their thoughts and using it around. It's basically a mind reading puzzle game, but it's very good.
That's kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, like I got it for PS4 a while back because it was like I think it was like a PS3 thing, but they like they brought it across.
They remade it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's on Steam now. I'm pretty sure. But like one of the nice things is when you were reading people's minds. It used like the PS4 controller, like a speaker on the controller, so you could listen to it. So it's like, oh, it's actually something different. Like you'd had like, oh, I'm actually listening to somebody else. Like you have to put the controller up to your ear, kind of thing. It was like it was like a nice little kind of touch. But no, like definitely give Stick It to a Man a shot. Like if you like Psychonauts, I think you would really like it.
Real talk, I've been playing a lot of Apex recently.
Oh, that's not something I would expect you to play.
Yeah, no, I definitely got bullied into this. But I will admit, I actually have found a battle royale I enjoy. And I'm not sure if it's because I am a grown man who accepts death, or if it is simply because I am doing it with friends. But I actually have found a bizarre amount of enjoyment in a game that came out of the Satan of game companies.
Well, that's the thing, right? Apex Legends is one of the harder battle royales, like skill level wise. It doesn't baby it down. Like I mean, if you think about like the other large ones, in comparison to Apex, they're kind of easy. like Apex takes a lot of skill, so maybe that's what's playing in, because like you're talking about movement shooters, and this very much plays into that kind of thing. And the games don't last all that long. There's a lot. The skill levels are there.
I think it's the fact that it doesn't last long is like the nice part.
Like Apex was fun for a while for me, but no, it definitely is a lot more fun if you've got like a regular group of people to play it with.
Yeah. Also, I just checked the store page because I wanted to talk about something really quick, and someone has Apex Legends on their wish list. Now,
it's free.
The punchline is that it's a free game.
What? Oh. There is oh god, speaking about, I'm not a fan of battle royales at all, but there is one that I've been kind of playing a little bit recently, but I add this caveat, it's only because of a couple of people that play it, and it's just because it's free. It's a free battle royale, and I jumped in on it just to like play it with some friends. And I gotta say, like, this kind of because it's a kind of top-down 2D kind of version of it, it's fucking Super Animal Royale. It's it's surprisingly good, and I'm not okay with it.
Right, isn't that the like 2D top-down one?
Yeah, 2D top-down furry battle royale, basically.
I'm 90% sure I saw Northern Lion playing that forever ago.
Yeah, apparently it recently came out into like full release, like a couple of months ago.
Oh.
So I don't know anything about it. All I know is that I play it and I'm surprisingly good at it, which annoys me.
See, I'm going to be real. The thing that always got me about battle royales is I could never develop game sense because I was just constantly getting my shit pushed in.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because like battle royales, you can have skill, but it's also very much a case of luck compared with like what everyone else is doing. Because you could be like the most skilled person, but if everyone else lands around you and like basically you get like caught in between like 3 or 4 teams like converging, you're fucked. No matter what, you're gone. So there's like it's skill and luck.
See, like my thing is for like normally, luck does play a part in it, but like for example, we found a drop unopened and something in the back of my brain went, people are watching. And then wouldn't you know it, 2 of my teammates walked up, and me playing as Gibraltar, not having any long-ranged options because why would I? I'm playing as Gibby. They run in without me, and then I see it, 2 people coming out of the arch and 1 coming out from behind them. And I'm like, I knew it. We were being watched.
Oh, God.
We lost that engagement, but we took one of them down with us, so I'll take that as a moral victory.
Oh, shit. You know what else is a movement shooter, actually?
What?
Have you tried Splitgate yet?
Yes, actually. I was questioning if that counts because the portals
That's a movement option. That's movement.
Yeah. That's unorthodox movement, 110%.
Can I just say, the games I kind of tend to gravitate towards are like base building and like civilization building kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Games that like you can just keep playing and playing and playing. Like they're infinite games essentially. Those are the ones I tend to kind of gravitate towards. They're my comfort games. That's my comfort genre. If you ever see me playing one, that's probably because I'm in a depressive mood, and it's just like that comfort thing. So if you see me doing that,
I mean, yeah. If you see me get onto 14, and then you see Fjolnir Frostrite, Eureka Animos, call my therapist.
Yeah. But no, like, God, I actually completely lost what I was going to say. No, the kind of games that I really enjoy playing are ones with unique movement types. And that kind of generally tends to move towards grappling hooks. If a game has a grappling hook mechanic in it, I'm in. Yo, does it have momentum and grappling hooks? Fucking give it to me. I'm gonna play it.
Like, that's the thing. Is like, anything that has satisfying movement naturally will become more satisfying to play. Yeah. Like for example, I like to go back on the Apex example. For my first like 20 matches, it played exclusively Pathfinder because he had funny grappling hook and also was a good friend.
I find myself whenever I played Apex, I was always what was it? Not Gibraltar, Bangalore. I was either Bangalore or Bangalore Lifeline or Gibraltar. Mainly because I was running support kind of stuff.
I mean, Bangarang and Gibraltar have a lot of overlap in their kit.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually normally what I do too, is like I refuse to spend money because EA, but simultaneously, I do got to admit, other champions do be looking tasty though. But
I actually don't know who else is in that game anymore. Like, I played it when it first came out, and the people I know, the only ones that I really know now, there was oh god, what are they called? There was that one, the Octane, like little fast speedy dude, Sonic on meth.
Is that what Octane does?
I think so.
I'm gonna need to get Octane then. I might be the first one I get. I was gonna get the cute Tesla coil girl, but
oh, I have no idea about that one. There was also hologram dude that talks about pork chops in there from the beginning. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember if he was in base game or not, but I remember like Octane was the first, like the last one that I saw got added, because a couple of years ago when it first came out, like some of the guys I used to work with back in the factory, they were so very into it, and they were so fucking sweaty. Like, holy shit, they were sweaty, and they were good at the game as well. And they kept dragging me in and be like, yo, come play with us. I was like, oh, god damn it. And I was just the meat wall. I was like the scout and meat wall, so they could just like clutch the win.
Real talk, we had a game this morning where we ended up on a tower. And we were just holding out. We had a rampart, so she had put like shields up everywhere for us. We had 3 turrets. We were holding position. We were sitting there for 10 minutes. No one showed up, and then we got the victory.
Okay.
I did 70 damage that entire round and had 1 kill. I made sure everyone thanked me for carrying.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. You know, actually, I'm going to bring this up just now. I'm going to bring this up. This isn't part of like any of the things that we were going to talk about today. What, like,
tangents?
You mentioned that you have a backlog. What's like the top 3 to 5 games that you've got in your backlog that you really want to be playing?
Okay, so I want to get through Boneworks. I want to get through Black Mesa because I think Black Mesa is really, really cool. Divinity, that's going to happen on its own time. I don't know if I can count that as being on my backlog. I want to get done Here Comes Nico at some point, and I will never finish this fucking game, but I want to get done Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 at some point.
Oh my god, I have not heard you talk about that in so long.
That's because I don't think the game is good, but I keep wanting to go back to it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing. I played a modded version of Xenoverse 2, which actually made me realize how much squandered potential was in this game. Like, it's really upsetting because, like, so here's an example. They added Super Saiyan Blue, which is, I think, a really cool form for lore reasons, not because it's Super Saiyan but blue. But the thing is, though, is to get it, it's behind insane grind, which, you know what? I respect that. It took 20 years of Dragon Balls for Goku to scream loud enough to turn his hair a new color. But the thing is, though, is it does nothing. It is simply a flat power upgrade, which is upsetting because you think it would unlock new avenues, new combos for the Saiyans. And they added a gold form for Frieza. And they added new forms for humans and Majin people because that just allows them to, you know, keep pace with the Saiyans. And in a multiplayer game like this with some sort of competitive element, yeah, they kind of need that. Unfortunately, however, they're all flaccid because it is just a statistical upgrade which is canceled out by another form.
Okay.
So it is literally just like an arms race of super forms, and it's like it's upsetting because I played a mod for Xenoverse 2 that made super forms change your kit slightly with each passing upgrade, and you could hit Ultra Instinct, and they balanced Ultra Instinct. But Ultra Instinct was fun as hell because it completely changed your normals. But normal super forms don't change your normals in the base game. You're stuck, and your combos are flaccid. But I still have fun with it. Like, here's the thing. I would love if I had the ability to change out my combos to work with my super kit, but I don't because it is based off of your gender and your race. So male Saiyans play a game of keep away, while female Saiyans are actually really good at getting you into range to use beam attacks. But I can't do that as a male Saiyan. You see what I'm like? It's baffling. Like, I want the ability to change my normals so I can do specific things with my normals. I've got opinions on Xenoverse 2. They are repressed because I find them to be worthless, but I definitely have them. I gotta beat Dark Souls 3 at some point too.
Dark Souls 3, I've completed with people, but I've not touched the expansions. I've been kind of considering going through the Dark Souls series as a thing, like as like a series on for like streams and whatnot. And I just fear it because I'm shit at the games. I'm absolutely terrible. So it'd probably take me a fucking year to get through all 3.
I'm going to be completely real with you. You should, if you go through Dark Souls 1, get the Inferno Plus mod. I think it's called Darkerist Souls.
What does that even do?
Rebalances the entire game so every last weapon is viable. Rebalances it so miracles are viable and sorcery is viable.
Wasn't there a mod where like because I remember playing Dark Souls 1 with one of my brothers years back, and we had this this mod, because you know when you like summon people, you could it was like a random person. So you couldn't really play with friends. There was a way that you could like choose like the data center and then like connect with a friend. So you could, it was basically matchmaking with people that you want to matchmake with. Like it was an outside mod.
And this has that.
Didn't like the, what was it, Prepare to Die version? Didn't that have that built in?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
The password system showed up and I want to say Dark Souls 2.
Okay, right. So this mod that you're talking about, the Infernal thing, has matchmaking with friends in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, it's a third-party program that you have to launch, but it works.
Cool, because my main thing is I want to play through it with someone. I want to go through the series with people. I think it would just be fun. That is something that I kind of want to do. Dark Souls.
Yeah, I started a playthrough of Dark Souls for the channel, and then I switched to game dev videos, and I haven't picked it back up. And let me tell you, both of the people I was doing it with, they're very pleased with me.
That you stopped playing?
I joke. They're actually very upset that I stopped playing. Well, the whole reason why I want to do Dark Souls 3 is I want to beat Dark Souls 3 normally because there's a mod that I want to play. I forget its name, but it makes it so you can do a melee mage build.
Okay.
Because one of the core spells is a low mana cost, low cast time teleport.
Oh.
So instead of dodging, you're basically just playing as like a funny mage, and you are zooping around the arena at maximum speed. Nothing can touch you unless you're bad.
Oh my God. Oh, did you see, God, so I got very excited about this because it just reminded me, you know, the old episodes of Red versus Blue or Ruby, you know, like the fight scenes where it was like really cool. Like, okay. Did you watch Red versus Blue the first time where the team fought, what's her name, Texas?
I don't recall. I'm pretty sure I stopped watching Red versus Blue before they had any choreographed cutscenes.
Okay, so there was this one scene that like really blew up, and it was them fighting in the Forge map in Halo 3. And they had a bunch of teleporters, and Texas was just like beating the shit out of them, and it was just like Montium just went fucking insane on that shot. It was so good. Now, think about that, and think about some of the choreography and the camera work that they did in like some of the really good like Ruby fight scenes as well. There's someone
before Ruby got bad.
Oh yeah. Let's face it, most people watched Ruby because of the fight scenes. The story was secondary.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But no, it was there was this game that there's a guy that was on. There was something on Twitter recently where they was showing off like a development build of what they were doing, and they were just no textures, nothing of the sort. The characters had a little bit of something on them, but they were flying around and doing that kind of shit cranked to 10, and it looked like the most satisfying freaking beat 'em up with the camera movements just going full-on anime cutscene kind of stuff in gameplay, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
Like, that's the thing. We're getting to the point where, like, the average person's APM is making this kind of thing possible.
Oh, I need to find it again.
You know, I know we're coming up on the break, so I don't feel bad completely diverging, but do you remember Scorn?
Oh, no, I had no interest in that.
See, I did because of the art style, but like it just keeps vanishing off the map.
I thought it got released like last year.
Did it?
I think so. It just
no planned release date TBD.
Oh my God, because they were teasing that it was getting released last year, and then nothing.
Is this canceled? Come on, I need my HR Geiger shooter.
Ooh, You know what? Because you went through it, I'm just gonna go through mine as well. Like my backlog is freaking huge. Yeah, we're going back to this. Sorry, I've been holding on to this, and I've been trying to remember the things I was gonna say before I forgot, and I've been waiting like 10 minutes. So I need to get this out. Okay, so like the big ones for me at the moment, I need to play through Hollow Knight. I'm currently playing through A Plague Tale: Innocence. I want to play through Subnautica Below Zero. I finally need to get around to like completing Nier Automata and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance as well.
Yeah, honestly, let me know what you think of Revengeance. That is one of my favorite Platinum games.
I'm kind of cautious about that one because I'm not a huge fan of hack and slash where the melee doesn't really do anything. Yeah, you know, like the kind of bullet sponge kind of mechanic where you can shoot people, but it doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything.
Yeah, the entire Borderlands franchise?
Yeah, that's what Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was for me. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of gameplay where you're just doing attack after attack after attack after attack and chipping away a slight amount. If the attacks don't feel like they have any weight to them or any kind of like real meaning, it's just, oh, you just need to hit them for a certain amount of time, then I'm just not a fan of that.
Well, the whole thing with Revengeance is it's more so about learning your enemies. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is the ultimate ability for Raiden is the parry. Because the parry opens up your Zenzaksuken, which is when you literally just chop them to bits. So your entire goal isn't to just aimlessly hack, it's to find the point to exploit.
Yeah.
So like a good example is the first boss fight of the game. You can parry everything, and it opens you up to basically take off a quarter of its health bar. So I would say go through it with the expectation that instead of living in a world where you are just, hitting light attack, you're hitting light attack while also going, where can I parry this poor son of a bitch?
Oh, actually, speaking of that, there is another game that I kind of want to get into, but I've been holding back on it because I need to move. I need space to be able to play VR games, basically. Because I cannot move at all in my room. And this game, the sole reason I got this game is because it uses full body tracking as part of it. And it's an older game, a couple of years now, but it is VR. And it's called Island 359. The idea behind it is the way that it looks on the store page, it's basically Ark Survival Evolved, but in VR.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Like a lot less features than Ark, because I'm gonna be 100% real here. Ark Survival Evolved is a bad game. It's a terrible game. Like I cannot stand it. I don't like the gameplay loop, and I think it just artificially pads the game beyond reasonable sense. It's just a bad game in my opinion. But the reason I want to play Island 359 is because full body tracking, it means that you can bitch slap velociraptors and choke hold small dinosaurs. I want to fucking judo slam a velociraptor into the ground.
I'm sorry, just the concept of you in your room, like just holding a velociraptor up by your hands, like force choke style, like, who's a good girl now?
I'm just gonna be like fucking choke holding a velociraptor, waiting for it to tap out. I'm like, no, you're not a clever girl today, and just holding it. I just want to fucking punch dinosaurs.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining like one of your roommates walking in and you're just on the ground, like holding a dinosaur by the neck in like a wrestling sleeper hold.
Yes, it's what I want to do.
That does sound sick.
Yeah, I really want to try it. I really just want to do that kind of stuff. But there's like a bunch of VR games that I really want to play, but I don't have the space to, which really sucks, and I just need to move. And once I do, then I can just like really start doing things. But anyway, I think that's a good time for us to take a quick break and go and grab a drink, go use the toilet, do whatever we need to do. And we will come back in just a couple of seconds. For you, not for us.
Remember, folks, you're going to hear a pitch for Patreon, but in reality, we were peeing that whole time. We just have good mics that don't pick it up.
I'm going to be peeing and reciting the fucking Patreon ad read. Hello, hi, welcome to the Midroll, the short 3-minute section that everyone skips or leaves the room for. So to keep your attention, I'll be sneaking a hidden message into this Midroll at a random point about something really awesome happening soon. First things first, I want to thank you all for the overwhelming support you've been giving the show. All the comments and interacting with you all has been absolutely amazing. We don't do any advertising, so the show grows through word of mouth alone. So if you want to help support the show, interact with it on whichever platform you use. Comment, like, rate, it all helps the show grow. Another way to help support the show is at patreon.com/podcast tangents. You could join the likes of our top tier Patreons, Alikar Safiro, Andrew Sorensen, and Audrey Resendez, as well as all our other lovely patrons. You can get access to bloopers and outtakes from episodes, listen and participate in the monthly Patreon exclusive episode with a Q&A session, a shout out in this very section like I just did, as well as access to the Patreon Discord amongst other things. This helps us keep the show running as well as work towards improving the show overall. So if you feel you want to support us there as well, then that's patreon.com/podcast tangents. Oh, and the hidden message? There was none. It was a ruse! But I will let you in on a little secret anyway. You're hella awesome. So let's just jump back into this, shall we? And welcome back to the podcast. Oh, fuck my bin!
Welcome back to Podcast Tangents. Alex is dead. I'm your new host, Lumo Blaze. It's a solo show now. Very unfortunate.
Wait, I come back. Oh, you think you can do this without me?
Thank God, my doctor told me I need to stop talking to myself.
But I was always just a figment of your imagination. I was never here.
Can you imagine the actual nightmare of living in a world where you could actually just be imagining online conversations you've been having and these people never exist?
You mean, like, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome back to the show. How did you like the ad read? Did it maybe sway your mind into giving us money?
Alex, am I real?
Are any of us real? Cam, are any of us?
Actually, according to Vsauce, not a single one of us is real.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He did a 40-minute video disproving the concept of chairs.
Sure. Like, Vsauce, I'm assuming this is Vsauce Michael, yeah?
Yeah, the absolute crack addict.
Like, he started off strong. He had a lot of good ideas. He did some really good videos. Then it was just a decline into insanity. And I believe that this is just like it was his original long-term plan. Was to like get a lot of just, momentum and sway and a lot of people just like following him. So he can just drag people down into the abyss of insanity with him.
I don't think that's actually it. Because the thing is the actual thesis of the video was that the things that we take as existing only exist because we have given them concepts. In reality, the chair is just a bunch of wood in a shape we're allowed to sit on. But it doesn't have to be. If you remove a couple of atoms from a chair, is it still a chair? Even though it's now been changed.
Yeah.
It's that as a concept of like the definition of what we have is basically societal concepts.
Yeah.
It was like a really interesting video that gave me a decent amount to think about.
I mean, things are only what they are because we give them that meaning and we build that concept of them.
Yeah.
That's okay. Our chair's real. Sorry.
Are they? Science may never know.
That then just goes down into the line of, is anything real? Because what if we just change up as... Yeah, that's how that works. If you change what the concept...
This isn't on our talking points list, and I'm sorry for distracting right when we got back, but I'm not sure we're real, Alex.
Okay. Hey, before we jump into the next topic, I've been actually considering... oh, God. Yesterday, I spent like a solid an hour and a half researching iPhones, because I think I might get one.
I mean, yeah, honestly, for what you do, that's a really smart investment.
I mean, I got into it at the really weirdest time because today, yesterday was the day before the announcement of the iPhone 13 release. So I was like, because I'm gonna mention something that I've been working on for quite a while.
Yeah,
I've commissioned someone, and they're making me a full-blown 3D model of my character, of like my branding character, which is essentially just me. It's a lot of money, and it's been a month and a half to this point, and I saw some of the progress pictures last night, and it's looking good. So it's finalizing. Hopefully, it'll be done with the next couple of weeks. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to get into doing a lot of content and stuff with VR, and having my own custom model, which is essentially me. That's, to me, a very smart investment, mainly for the fact that it's my representation. People are going to recognize the model as myself instead of using like a random one that you can just find anywhere and anyone can use.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I paid for extra, so I'm getting like the base models. Like I'm getting all the source files, so I can take it into Blender, which means I can edit it myself. I can send it off to other people if I so need to, but I can also then pose it and make my own thumbnails.
Yeah, no, like again, like the fact that using the iPhone allows you to actually use a full facial rig based on your own face, godly, especially for using your model.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't intend to become like a full-blown VTuber. I feel like I'm gonna do it occasionally, because there's a lot of times where I'm doing like editing streams or I'm just making content where I think a visual element would be nice for people to connect with. So it's not like I'm gonna be hiding my face or anything like that. I'll do like live action shit at some point anyway. I'm not gonna be hiding it. It's just an extra element for me to be able to weave in and use as I need to. And if I can get like some high end, like an iPhone, as you were saying, like the facial tracking and stuff for that, incredible, like the detail and stuff that you go for. But there's also other things that the iPhone can do, which sadly I don't know if, like, I have like a Galaxy 8 at the moment from a fair few years ago now, and I don't know if Samsung phones can do it, but there's like a bunch of decent camera apps that you can get. Like there's one where you can you just basically like photo telemetry. You just like put your phone, point it around in the area, and it basically 3D tracks the whole thing and creates like a 3D model of what you just basically pointed your camera at that you can just import into programs.
Oh yeah, photogrammy.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And it'd be so interesting. And I just want to play around and just like learn this kind of stuff. So yeah, no, like an iPhone, I think is a really interesting thing to get into. I just don't like Apple because it's a lot of money for. Yeah, I don't really want to get into it all. But no, I was like researching it all last night, and I was like, iPhone 12. Okay, let's look into that. Okay, maybe I'll wait until like the Black Friday sales. It's expensive as shit, and no, I was like researching all, and every time I tried to look at iPhone 12, it was like, have you seen we're releasing the iPhone 13 tomorrow? Can I just look at the previous model? iPhone 13. It's like, oh, please stop.
Yeah. Like, I'll be real. I've occasionally considered swapping over to iPhones for roughly the same reasons, because I've been trying to add a bit more of a cinematic angle to my game dev videos, which is why I'm taking more time between videos, because I just want to make the best thing I can make.
Yeah.
But so I've been developing tools roughly in the same boat of like, how can I utilize the fact that I am a game developer to increase my video production speed? So I'm actually trying to get a Northman model specifically so I can do small animated segments. But instead of doing animation, I'm just going to use full body tracking to do what I need and adjust the face using like a blueprint.
That's the thing, right? I think I've mentioned this before. I think I've mentioned it to you before. There's a guy called Russian Badger on YouTube that does a bunch of like animated stuff for his videos. And over the last year, I think it is, he's like kind of really blown up. And he does like full blown animations now in like Source Filmmaker and like other programs where he imports stuff. And then he's got like one of those I think it's like uSense or SenseU, full body motion tracker suits, which cost like $10K or something like that. And he uses that to make fully customized, like fully original animations for his videos. And it, like, the quality that goes into it is just so good. It's so good. And it's the kind of stuff that I really want to get into as well. I was watching it, I was like, God damn it, someone else did it now. Now people, if I do it now, people are gonna be like, oh, you just copied Russian Badger. Like, yeah, fuck, I'll take it.
I mean, that's the universal YouTube rule. What's that? You played a video game? Oh, YouTuber I watch play video game, which means you can't. Idea's not allowed to be derivative.
The comparisons to other people kind of get grating after a while. Like on Calvus, the amount of times that I've seen comments on videos since like when I first started doing like hosting work for Calvus, it's just every now and again I just see a comment like, "This guy sounds like this other UK YouTuber. Is that him?" It's like, no, what the stop? Why do you need to compare it to other people all the damn time? This guy sounds like Stampy Longhead. It's like, no, I don't. I sound like I'm from the UK with a slightly posher accent. I don't even know what my accent is. I've been told I sound Canadian by so many people. I'm not English. I'm not Scottish. I'm not Canadian. What the hell is my voice? I don't know. But apparently I sound like Stampy Longhead.
I have friends from New York who think I have a New York accent. I've never even been in the state. None of my family ever lived there.
Isn't that like one state down?
No, it's like 3 to the left.
Is it?
Yeah, no, because like in between New Hampshire and New York is Vermont, which apparently counts as 3 states.
Okay.
New York's weird because I'm not sure if it counts as New England or not.
I have no idea about U.S. Geography. I know where some of the states are, but that's about it.
Yeah, I can get you New England, I can get you California, Oregon, Texas. I can get you a couple in like some weird locations. I can get you Wyoming because it is rectangle, but I cannot get like West Virginia.
Oh, I know where that one is.
Yeah, so combined, we might have a full geographic map of the United States. We should call the White House. They might be interested in this.
Like I know a couple, but god, dude, like, there's just too many. Who needs it?
Apparently, the United States. Anyway,
yeah, let's move on to the actual conversation we're gonna have.
We got here from Chairs Aren't Real. I'm really proud of how weird that conversation went.
Considering we were talking about video games in the first half, we were talking about movement shooters. It's interesting that you kind of put that up, considering I posed this one last week, and it's, what would be your dream game? Resources unlimited. You have your own games company. They will listen to what you say, and they will make the game you want. It can be a mashup of any game ideas, shoot for the moon kind of game design.
Okay.
What would be your perfect game?
I want a multiplayer adventure game with base building elements, kind of like Rust, with stamina-based deliberate combat akin to Dark Souls. Okay, so it's like, what I want is a mix of Calamity from Terraria and like a 3D open world game I can play with my friends and have some level of creativity. But here's the thing. As the power curve increases and the game goes on, I want it to go less like Dark Souls and more like Xenoverse 2. I want people flying and killing God with like teleports. I want the power curve to be comedic. I want like so much obscure bullshit in the game that the wiki goes, we've data mined it and have no idea how the hell this happens. Like, I want genuine levels of obfuscation. I want people to discover things because they do it because they're like, this must pay off, and then it does. Like, God, like, I just have this concept of, like, building a world after, like, the end of the world. And you just have to take on all of the blights that kind of ended the world to begin with.
All right, yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. So it's like rebuilding civilization, but also having to like really kind of build up and be able to like defend and destroy the things that destroyed the world to begin with.
Yeah, so like what I would want is like you have a village, like you have a village separate from the main game field where it plays more like Animal Crossing, where you're walking around, you're talking with people, you can take some quests from like a quest board, which are procedurally generated. There's no way to make it too interesting, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know, do some weaponry, because I want crafting to be done at the home base. I want reason for people to return to the base, because I think the thing with games, I feel like action games, is there needs to be downtime with uptime, and I want the field to have that, but I want the ultimate downtime to be I'm back in the village, I'm safe. So like I want people to go out, collect resources, you know, return home, hit up the blacksmith, throw all the metals in the smeltery, you know. Do some crafting. You got some weird items. How can we enhance them? Stuff like that. But when you go out into the field, I want it to be like there are enemies. Bosses can spawn on their own. I want there to be a chance that a boss shows up on your doorstep and is banging on like a force field trying to get in. So your only quest for that day is get this away from us. But of course, the village can never be in danger, truly. Eventually, it'll get bored and wander away. But I want it to just basically be like, you know, you're rebuilding this village, you're taking on the field to get more space for your village, to get more resources, building arenas to fight bosses. And I want the absurd scale of it to just rise and rise and rise as time goes on. So it gets to the point of pure, genuine comedic insanity. I want the final boss's attack to be a desperate last stand, and then it summons another boss by accident.
Oh my god.
I want something to attack the player with something so powerful it rips a hole through dimensions and other things start coming out. Like things like that, where it's like, you know, the scaling and the absurd bonkersness of it matches like a shonen anime. And like, that's the thing. This is something that like I've considered making a couple of times, or at least getting the baseline in so I can make some pitches to a couple of studios. And it's just not feasible. But it sounds fun.
It's definitely not. Just the sheer scope of like the world that would, okay, like the mechanics and stuff and the scaling up would be so many different tiers and so many different things built into that. That's like a whole fucking game development cycle on its own by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Just that one mechanic. Then the idea of just like the world. It's like, how do you populate this? How big is it going to be? It's
like,
just.
I think it's possible to do it at a certain level with a respectable scale, just not as an individual. Like, I genuinely think the absurd power scaling is actually, like, it's actually reasonable. Because here's the thing. Every game has a power scale, and it doesn't have to be numerically insane. It just has to feel cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say you're playing as a mage, and you go from, like, oh, I've got Fireball to, I've got Teleport and can summon flying swords. But that's not that difficult. But that feels like insane power scaling because you went from like a small fireball to I am summoning sentient weaponry. Or like, let's say you're playing on like a heavier melee class and you get grappler's gloves and all of a sudden you can just grab giant worm bosses and like stop them in their tracks. That feels like good power scaling. But it's more so the game has to feel like your power has scaled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can't be like Destiny where you get an exotic and the same Screeb takes the same amount of shots to kill. But yeah, I've had this game on my mind for a while. And this actually spun off from a different concept that I had for something that I was calling FanFest, which is something I still intend to do, actually. So I'm not going to say too much about that.
Yeah, I remember you pitching that idea to me. And you were like starting to work on it a little bit as well. I remember that.
I think that would be a fun thing. I think FanFest would be a fun concept to do.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work that needs to go into it. First of all.
No, exactly. Like that's why I need my studio.
You see, you had a lot of elements to kind of like what my ideal, like my dream game would be as well. So my original one that I've held on to for years was essentially take World of Warcraft kind of like level, like world scale kind of thing, open world kind of game kind of thing, and then make it fully 3D Pokemon roaming game where it has all the different regions, all that kind of stuff. So it's like Pokemon MMO 3D game, and you have to like go around, like you work with people to like capture like large Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. That kind of game really, I was just like, ooh, that would just be the game, basically. But I've kind of moved on past that because I don't think that would be really that good at this point. Like, it would be fun. It'd be really nice and all, but it will never happen.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I would really like to do is base building. Like, base building as a base, as like a baseline kind of thing in a obscenely large world. Have you ever seen or have you heard of the anime Log Horizon?
Yes, I think we talked about it like 2 podcasts ago.
I cannot remember. But no, Log Horizon, the world within itself is like, I can't remember what the term for it is, but it's essentially, the world is so big, it's essentially the world project, half-world project, that the entire, like the in-game world is like half the size of the real world kind of thing, set in like a fancy setting. Something to like that scale kind of thing. Like, it's huge. It doesn't need to be like fully kind of like high res details, all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is it's so big that the areas that you go to, you can set up bases, you can set up guilds, you can set up like your own encampments, you can set up trade routes, all this kind of stuff with other things. Massively multiplayer, online, kind of all that kind of stuff for base building. But the idea is to take inspiration from Borderlands and take skill trees, which is essentially base skills where it's like, think Skyrim times massive, where it's base skills that you mix and match, and when different things combine, it makes unique skills. So each person is going to be completely unique. The idea behind the Borderlands kind of thing is, you know how they have like a bunch of different items, they have a bunch of different guns, and then they just randomly generate the stats. So each gun is essentially unique in that sense.
Yeah.
Take that with different items, with different buffs, and once, like, you have like the base gear that you can buy from shops, then all that kind of stuff, that anyone can get that kind of stuff. Then there's the crafting stuff, where depending on the person's skill level and the materials put into it and the quality of the materials, can make a certain array of different kind of weapons to varying degrees and have like stats and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Terraria's prefix system, where it's like, that's just the quality of the weapon.
Yeah. So like there's the bottom tier that anyone can have access to. Then there's the crafting tier above it, where there's a certain range that it can go into. But the big thing is take the Borderlands idea with it to different types of gear. It could be like armor. It could be like utility gear that gives you extra skills or extra bonuses, all that kind of stuff. Or it could be weapons. That could just be anything. And these things get dropped from like raids, they get dropped from like dungeons, wherever, just exploring and finding unique places that nobody has been to yet. So every single person's adventure is different, but the items are unique to that person. They will never be replicated unless like something comes into it. So each person's loadout, it has this sense of, you put in the time, you've gone on this adventure and you found this item which is now solely yours. This is your reward for your adventure.
See, systemically, that's a lot. But at the same time, it's cool as shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the baseline kind of stuff. Like, the idea that you were talking about was just like power scaling up and like bosses spawning everywhere and all this kind of stuff. That sounds cool as shit. I might take that. This is just like a baseline kind of thing, because I really love the idea of going into a world and building up something with people and making it something tangible and making it something to be proud of that other people can come along with. Because like in games, I'm very much a builder. I like to gather resources. I like to build stuff that other people can get benefit and use from. It's like in Final Fantasy 14, I became an Omnicrafter and full on. Remember when I first started 14? I had maxed out Lumberjack before I even got to level 30 in archery.
Yeah. I very much remember that.
Yeah, like, because I like to be of use, you know? But it's also, I just enjoy that kind of thing. But having like going into like areas that potentially nobody else has ever been to, because it's such a large world. Obviously, there's gonna be like fast travel, there's gonna be like carriages, there's gonna be other transport. You can get like summon creatures that you can get as rewards that can help you travel faster. All this kind of stuff. Just things that help you improve and make it so that you can go on larger and more grander adventures. And as things like, just start building up, maybe there's a giant world event where, I don't know, an ancient creature has awoken due to some people have been digging in some mines for like too deep or something, or they've killed too many of its underlings that now the boss has to like come out and sort out something and like, deal with the adventurers and kind of shit. And everyone has to come together or it's going to destroy, kind of like Warframe kind of thing with the relay systems, where if people don't defend them, they're gone forever.
The issue with that kind of system, though, is you get stuff like the Earth Relay that was gone forever.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
But it doesn't mean, just because it's gone doesn't mean people can't just go back there and start to rebuild from scratch.
Oh, God, what's that MMO that's doing that exact thing, actually?
I have no idea. I am so far out of the MMO sphere, I do not know.
I want to say Ashes of Creation, but I don't know. But there's one where basically there's a bunch of nodes and you can actually build like civilizations on the nodes. And other players can either come in and help you out, but they have to pay taxes, or they can go the American way and take you down for making them pay taxes.
Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds about right. So something with this, it's going to be very much a balancing act of people that like want to come together and then just assholes that want to come in and just destroy everything. So it's going to be this weird kind of balancing act. But I think that kind of thing would be really interesting to see, because if there's like a group of people that are dedicated to just like tearing things down that other people are building, That means like other people could like form dedicated hunting parties to take down these players. And they could like build entire like guilds dedicated to like protecting these civilizations and whatnot.
I will say, sadly, most players will rather destroy. How do I know this? I played Rust for a couple of years. If you give people the ability to take down other players' structures, that's all they'll want to do, because that's where they'll find the most satisfaction in action. They'll have more dynamic situations against other players, but eventually this causes the players who simply wish to build to leave.
But think about it this way. What if that civilization, the thing that they might frequent and they might, use, because think of it, it's essentially a city with a bunch of different shops. There's going to be a bunch of facilities. There's going to be a bunch of things that they can get from there. And if that goes, what if like there's a mechanic where if people don't defend it and they just want to destroy that kind of thing, there might be resources, there might be techniques to build and make interesting stuff that's lost forever because the knowledge is lost with that civilization. People might be able to build again, but they won't get that lost knowledge. So there's the sense of permadeath to it as well. So if people want to get rid of stuff, they're gonna. But if there's a lot of people that use that town and they're getting useful stuff from it, they're gonna want to defend it because they're getting useful stuff from it. Whilst yes, it might be fun to destroy other people's things. Oh no, but what if I want to keep getting these really good, potions that I use a lot? So there's.
At that point, it just reduces into mega factions. I am trying to poke holes in it because I think it's worth the good discussion. But like, whenever I hear about these kind of systems, it always just gets dominated by like one or two large groups of players.
Yeah,
like that's why full PvP tends to not work.
I don't know. It's to me that's like a really cool idea.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful idea.
It's just it would need a lot of balancing to it.
Yeah, you'd have to have rewards strong enough that it outpaces the want of destruction. Because there are two things that people are motivated by: rewards and the lack of loss. So by not having loss, or rather by having a lot of loss, people want to not have the loss because humans are loss adverse. Whereas if people get rewards, they are more concerned about losing the rewards than getting them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance that it ends in like a neutral stalemate, but there's always that one guy who's literally just playing the game to cause hell, and that kind of guy can start a mob.
Yeah.
But it is, if that's like a balancing issue that can be tackled, though, it becomes godly.
I just love the idea of each person is essentially unique, because like the idea of like the unique items that you get from rewards and doing adventures combined with the unique skill tree. So like you can build your own kind of, as like you combine different skills from different skill trees, they create unique skills with them as well. And then you combine that with other things and you build up and it builds upon other things that you've done. Each person's going to be essentially, people are going to be able to copy other people's skill tree, but with unique items that give extra buffs and skills as well. Each character is going to be completely unique to how they play. And that excites me because eventually when you play games and like armor comes out and all this kind of stuff, there's this meta that comes out and, like people will be like, oh, that works really well. I'm going to copy that. Yeah. If you want to play that and just optimize things, but then it's just everyone's doing the exact same thing. Nah. To me, what makes it interesting is like having unique things to themselves. So each person brings something unique to a team kind of thing. So like each person may have a specialty or, hey, this guy's got a bunch of equipment and skills dedicated to tanking that it just makes him a god tank. Nobody else might have that. So this dude is like highly sought after because he went and put in the time and, the effort to find and get these kind of things. That really excites me.
This is the thing. That's actually kind of what Path of Exile does.
I have never played Path of Exile, so I would not know.
Its skill tree probably has more nodes than War and Peace has words.
Oh.
And your abilities are determined by gem drops that you get. So there is a real chance that you can get an ultra rare gem that nobody else has. And that's just like your sudden power. And you can build yourself in very, very specific ways. It's really kind of cool. Makes my head hurt. Actually, no. Live right now. Do me a favor. Just look up Path of Exile skill tree. I want your live reaction to the sheer nebulous and fucking absurd size of this.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, you understand now.
That's a lot. Wait, hold on. I just seen one. I've just seen one of them and they've just outlined and just got a bunch of skills that just makes a crab Yeah, okay. But no, yeah, something like this where like each thing builds upon another, and then like it's not telegraphed that other things will like have, you know, combine with others to like create new things. So I don't know. I don't know how it would work. I don't know how in depth it could go, but just it'd be so fun to me. Just like each person's unique. Nobody's like a carbon copy of the other. Everyone has like value in different ways.
Real talk. I'm sorry. I said Path of Exile. Now I'm saying like I'm sad it's owned by Tencent.
Oh no.
Because like every time I see this game, I'm like, I want to give you my heart. I want to give you my life, my everything. And then it's like, never mind, you're owned by Tencent. Honestly, though, I do think that having a skill tree like that actually lends itself more to a meta, though. Simply on the grounds of like, to just go back to the Path of Exile example, when you have a skill tree that is very sizable and complex and with a lot of depth, you're going to get people who experiment, and they're going to come out with some really cool stuff, and that's going to be really great. But you should consider people like me the average, where if I see too many options, I'm Googling what's good and I'm never looking back.
Yeah, I mean, there is a very good chance of, you know, choice paralysis if there's just too much presented and too many options available from the get-go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it does come down to it, like, you know, do the Skyrim thing where there's like a set number of categories where things then start to branch off of, so you can... it eases you into the choices, and then you can figure out your game style, and then you can like start building it around that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fun thing to think about. Let's switch gears though, from going from things that we would absolutely love to make to what we would love to see be remade, with remakes and remasters of games that have already come out from, I don't know, from whenever. Are there any games that you would absolutely love to see a remake of? Because like remakes and remasters are becoming very abundant these days, it seems. There's like a lot of them coming out. But are there any games that you would absolutely love to see a remake?
Yeah, give me Psychonauts 1 with a complete, just not overhaul, because the game played really well. Just give me the new graphics. Because Psychonauts 2 is a beautiful game. Psychonauts 1, its age is showing.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I was going to jokingly say Cookie Clicker, but that did get a remaster.
Really? Really?
But yeah, no, Cookie Clicker just released on Steam. It just released on Steam with overhauled graphics.
Huh.
It is actually, I have 60-something hours in it already.
Oh my god, dude.
Don't talk to me. Don't tell my family how low I have fallen. I am playing Cookie Clicker right now while we are recording this podcast because I spoke about it and purchased some buildings, and now I'm minimizing it again so it doesn't distract me. But it did get a remake, or rather a remaster.
Jesus.
Actually,
oh my god.
Yeah, did you just look it up?
No, I was just scrolling through my Steam library. I've got Path of Exile, and apparently I've played 100 minutes of it. Oh
yeah,
my god.
But no, I would love to see Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 both remastered.
Ooh, I've never played the Sonic Adventure games.
They're pretty good. They are buggier now than they were on release.
I mean, yeah.
That is the Sonic curse.
Like, the last good Sonic game, in my opinion, was Generations.
Yeah, Generations was rad.
Generations was just a solid game. Just speedy little hodge man. Just fun. And that one just worked really well.
Generations slapped. I definitely would say that I think Unleashed may be the biggest visual treat Sonic has ever been.
Unleashed, you mean the werehog one?
Yeah, no, that game, beautiful.
Like, oh god, I actually really like Unleashed. Like the hedgehog stuff, like the werehog stuff.
Werehog sucks, but
no, that game was just that was fun. I like that one.
You know what could definitely use a remaster?
What's that?
Saints Row 2.
That's actually one I've not played either.
I've heard it's amazing. I liked Saints Row 3. I pretend Saints Row 4 doesn't exist. Gat Out of Hell also doesn't exist. And whatever that weird one was set in Korea doesn't exist.
I don't even know about that one. You know what I'd actually love to see? A remake of? The Metroid Prime series.
I would
and you knew I was going to go take it this way.
Say the words.
A VR version.
Unfortunately, Nintendo needs to make a VR capable system for us to get that. And honestly, Nintendo, I have no money, but I'll give you everything I have to make it happen.
Just the Metroid Prime trilogy in VR, not like it could be flat screen as well. Just like update the graphics, you know, give it a couple of like tweaks and whatnot. Give it. I will take it. Absolutely 100% I will take it. But if you put it into VR, I will fucking suck your dick, Nintendo. Give it to me. I would love that.
Like, Nintendo does enough things that I would deem sketchy from a company perspective. This is your chance to redeem yourself, Nintendo.
Another remake would be Resi 4, but I know that they're doing a remake of that for... Actually, it should be coming out in the next couple of months. I'm assuming it's going to come out next month because it makes sense with Halloween. Resi 4 VR for Oculus. And I'm super excited about that. For next month, I am going to be playing through the mainline Resident Evil series on stream for Spooky Month. And I hope to God by the time I get through it, Resi 4 is going to be out in VR because I would love to play it that way.
You know what I actually would really like Nintendo to do?
What's that?
Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 remake using Tropical Freeze's art style.
Ooh, that would be good.
Don't change anything about the gameplay. Just give me that, like, sweet, sweet retro stylization. Give me that, like, those 3D models. Give me the, like, wonderful backgrounds and vistas. I want to see what Retro Studios would do with the funny ghosts in the, like, the ghost vines.
Oh my God. Lost Planet 1 and 2.
I've never played Lost Planet.
Lost Planet was so good. Like Lost Planet 2, I got it on Steam, hoping to be able to play it with people. Servers are dead. The best part about Lost Planet 2 was the multiplayer, because it's essentially Monster Hunter, but with guns and aliens. Giant aliens.
How fast do you move?
You get grappling hooks.
Movement shooter confirmed.
There was an entire level on Lost Planet 2 where basically you're on a giant fucking train with a cannon on it, and you're getting chased by a sandworm from Dune. And you basically had to fight this thing off whilst working with your team of like 4 people to reload this damn cannon to shoot this thing as it like comes up and takes off chunks of your train and comes up beside you and whatnot, launching little mini enemies. It was so good. It was so good.
I would take a Darksiders 1 and 2 remaster.
I still need to play those two.
I've beaten 1, but I always fall out of 2 when I get to the Land of the Dead. I don't know why. It just kind of... People say it gets even better after that point, but it just falls apart there for me because it's a lot of just running back and forth.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, though, Darksiders 1 was pretty great. Darksiders 2 had amazing combat, and honestly, fantastic art. You can definitely tell it was an Xbox 360 game nowadays, but they could probably get away by just upscaling some textures and doing some extra lighting work, and it would be good. I would pay for that again.
True. Actually, I'm going to take this into a different kind of category of game, a different genre. Yeah. Red Alert 2.
Ooh.
Red Alert 2 is my fucking game. I love it so much. I remember vividly getting it and playing it and completing it and then going online and then being confused as to why is that cow shooting nukes? And then I realized these are you basically the way the online worked was you would connect to the other person and they would share the game files across to you. So what you could do is you could go into the notepad and essentially edit the game files and change what units do, how they look and all this kind of stuff. I started modding the game. Like that was my first instance of modding a game through text editor. And one of my favorite things is there was the expansion pack for Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge. Yuri was like, I don't know if you played Red Alert 2 at all.
I did not. I just know that they are good games based off of what my friends tell me.
In Red Alert 2, like the base game, the Russian guy has an advisor, which is Yuri, who's can do mind control stuff. And he's the big evil kind of thing, it turns out. The expansion pack is based around him, and you can play as a faction of his army. So like he had a whole faction of stuff. It was really cool. And one of them was essentially just the Hulk. It was a big buff man kind of looking thing who would just run around and punch things called brutes. So what I would do is I would change it so whenever you punched someone, they would turn into a brute as well. So like one of like the biggest tactics was to basically bum rush as Soviets, just like get a bunch of conscripts, just shoot them out because they were super fast to make and super cheap to make. So you just make a bunch and then you just send them across to the enemy base. That was like a cheap tactic that a lot of people did. To counter that, I would go Yuri, make a brute, send like 3 of them into this army of incoming guys, and you would just watch the conversion wave, and as like a new army of brutes would then just immediately go back because they spent all their money getting this small army. There's nothing they can do. One of my other favorite kind of things that I did was Chinooks. The helicopters that carry people around and whatnot. I would just make it so they were open roofed, which is a very strange thing to say for a helicopter. And what this basically meant was people could shoot out of the Chinook as it flew over. So I would just increase the capacity to like 20 people, where the usual was 5, and just fill it with different enemies or with like different units and a bunch of mind control people, and just fly over the enemy base as it just destroyed things and took over their army. It was amazing. Like, so many people just immediately went like, I'm just going to turn a dog to shoot nukes. I'm going to make this airplane just destroy everything. It's like, nah, I got creative. I didn't want to be overpowering. I just played in unique ways.
You know what I think needs a remaster?
What's that?
Skyrim.
I think that's all the time we have for today on the podcast. Hey, Cam, thank you for joining me. Hope you had a good chat and all this kind of stuff. Just going to move on from what you just said.
Todd Howard, I have $60 in my pocket right now. PS6 port, let's go.
We'll be back again next week for the next episode. If you want to support the show, consider heading over to patreon.com/podcast-tangents, where you'll get a bunch of extra tasty treats and episodes and be able to join in on the Patreon exclusive Discord and have your name shout out in the midroll. So hey, we hope to see you in the next episode, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.